congratulations to the NFL owners, because Dan Snyder has agreed in principle to sell the Washington Commanders for $6 billion, the asking price, to Josh Harris, owner of the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils. There is another billionaire investor also included in this ownership group, as well as Magic Johnson. And they have the funds to pull off what is a great news day for the rest of NFL ownership, because they didn't vote Dan Snyder out. They could have. They didn't. And meanwhile, they still get Daniel Snyder out while allowing him to choose who he's going to sell the team to, without setting a precedent of voting an owner out of the fraternity, which is what every one of those owners is worried about. Every one of them has something behind the scenes, and some of them are way more public than others, and way worse, probably. But you think like Jerry Jones wants Dan Snyder voted out? No, because then you end up having 75% vote for the next disagreement that comes up, or the next time that something is not great for the shield of the NFL. Chad, we discussed this a year ago, that they were never going to vote him out, but they ousted him anyway, and they did it on his terms. But they still get it done in a time frame that I was surprised by, quite frankly. I thought he was going to dig in and not allow anyone to tell him what to do or what he could not do as the owner of the Commanders. But keep in mind, he's been suspended from that. His wife's been the acting owner, quote unquote. He moved out of his office, 200 or so days ago now, and now he sells. And as a parting gift, he gets $6 billion to leave the NFL. And all of the teams, by the way, their value goes up because now we have a new record sale in the league. Last year was 4.6 with the Denver Broncos. Now it's $6 billion. And Seattle's up next.
It's a great day for the NFL to get rid of this Daniel Snyder problem. I'll also say that I don't know that I'm ever going to be completely comfortable until this guy's dead, in terms of him being a secret keeper for everyone in the league. If he is in fact been paying security people and those to monitor other owners, he's such a loose cannon. I'm not advising him do anything about it. I'm just saying, who knows? Like, they could say one thing about the report, or something could get out about him now that he's sold, and he could blame some other owner and just burn it down. Every time I look at Dan Snyder, I think about the line in Batman where they say, some people just want to watch the world burn, and the Joker. He could be that type of guy. Now, he's got 6 billion reasons why he should be happy, and he can sell off into the sunset, and he got what he wanted out of it, and it doesn't look like there's going to be other big repercussions to come for him. But I don't know that I'm just sleeping completely easy thinking, well, this guy's never going to tell secrets at any point, if you're another owner. Well,
there have been other ownership factors, right, that have departed Washington. Fred Smith comes to mind.
Yeah.
He was a 30% owner at one point, and Snyder bought him out, but Smith wanted out. And, I mean, that's been relatively quiet. So I don't think I think there are a lot of people that could turn on him, too, if he were to do something like that.
Yeah, it's
worse for the league if he's a part of the league.
Look, this is all good for the NFL. I'm casting a little bit of doubt in this with Dan Snyder and what he could do in the future. My one concern, if I'm one of the owners that, and I'm not saying he has something on every owner, but if I'm one of the owners that he's got something on, or he could put something over on them, my concern, Hutton, is that he has nothing left to lose now he doesn't have his team, and he's not a part of the league. So now he could be quicker if he gets triggered in any way and his temper is set off. He could burn it down on someone else. Well, just because he seems to be a very petty little man. And he could do that now and not fear any repercussion from the league because, hey, I wash my hands of it. I got my $6 billion and I sold my team.
But he's also
I'm no longer a part of the Shield.
He's still facing that federal investigation.
Right.
And on top of it, the owners gave him, they just said, hey, go sell the team. Do whatever you want. Just let us know whenever you choose who you're going to sell it to. They could have voted him out, and he could have had less than $6 billion whenever they chose to, hand it over to Bezos, which they didn't do.
Yeah, I'm being a little devil's advocate here, but I think mostly this is a great day for the league. And this Josh Harris group already, just what you see that he's done,
Yeah.
in ownership
from the
now
area.
already, and he's from the area, it's light years better. No idea what he's going to be like ultimately with the club, but it looks already like it's going to be light years better than what you got from Dan Snyder.
Yep. I'm curious, too, what happens with the 76ers and with the Devils, because if you have ownership in other professional leagues, the major leagues in the U.S., you can't be the majority owner of an NFL franchise. So, for instance, Stan Kroenke, he owns the Denver Nuggets as well, but technically his wife owns the Denver Nuggets, not Stan Kroenke, who owns the Los Angeles Rams. They'll have to maneuver that, but it's still going to be the Harris ownership group that's going to be the controlling owners of all three. And what a powerful group now.
Yeah.
I mean, they already were. But it's tough to meet the restrictions of what the NFL demands for the certain debt that you take on to finance a team. The NFL requires that at least 30% of a team purchase right now is liquid by the controlling owner. So you have that, plus you take on the debt that was raised by whenever they financed the $900 million, I believe, whenever they bought out Arthur Smith's father, FedEx. And
I marvel at the money people behind these businesses that are coming up with the ways in which these huge conglomerate business people are liquid and all of their money interest everywhere and what things are worth and what facilities they own and office complexes and everything that they could immediately get a hold of and where their liquidity lies. That is fascinating to me.
And soon a stadium. That's the next thing for the Commanders. A new stadium, which means it will be state-of-the-art. A Super Bowl will be headed to the D.C. area based on that build whenever it's finally done. Chad, Tony Petitti, the new Big Ten commissioner, and from how you view things and seeing his background, what's the focus of the new commissioner?
Well, the focus is on the future of the Big Ten. No doubt about it. But if you are in his position right now as the leader of one of the big two with the Big Ten and the SEC, I really think Petitti needs to keep an eye on what's going to happen with college sports because someone's going to have to take leadership. And if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be him and Greg Sankey. I think they are a candidate, both of them together are candidates to figure out the future of college sports. College sports is not dying anytime soon. It's not going to go away, but it is changing. And we are at a breaking point right now of what it could be in the future. And it could be better, and it could be a heck of a lot worse. Women's sports could suffer in the future if this thing breaks the way of professional sports, and they're going to take a look at it and say, we're only going to move forward with sports that make us money. If that's the case, Title IX and women's sports will be a problem at universities. These teams that make money being separate of the university in some way could be a problem for college sports. I'm not saying Tony Petitti should come in and say, hey, I'm going to skirt my responsibilities here with the conference and go and be an ambassador for all of college sports. His first priority is the Big Ten. But he's got a chance to be a change agent, and he's got a chance to help shape the future of sports in college, the NCAA. He is now one of the most powerful people in all of sports.
Instantly.
So understand that responsibility. And I think the broad point I'm trying to make is don't look out only for yourself. There's going to be, if you do that and you constantly do that, the NFL works because they look out for the NFL, knowing that they're all going to make money and profit from it. At some point, Greg Sankey and Petitti and the leaders in college sports and the head of the NCAA and NIL groups and everyone, they have to put their heads together and work in conjunction to figure out a plan to make sure college sports are exciting, are what they should be, and they're profitable for the future. And that it works for the athletes as well as the coaches and administrators and everyone else. That's on Petitti now. It's on Sankey as well. But I just don't want this to be I'm going to get mine, screw you, I don't care if you get yours. I'm in this for my conference only. There needs to be a little bit more of a group effort. I'm not emphasizing communism here. But I am saying they need to look out for the good of the sports of all of these universities as a whole, and it's these two men now that can do that better than anyone else. Well, and I'm talking SEC commissioner and Big Ten commissioner.
Well, the two that were in charge prior to Kevin Warren leaving were, of course, Warren and Sankey. And they didn't seem to like each other all that much.
Nope. It very much was
a rivalry.
It very much was a kill or be killed rivalry between
Arms
the two.
Race.
Yeah.
And I wonder what this hire means for that partnership. Because you had Klavkoff going to Capitol Hill with Greg Sankey. It wasn't Kevin Warren. And now I wonder if, you pick up the phone and actually call Greg Sankey, if Sankey does that with him. Or does the rivalry continue and you press forward as is?
Yeah, don't.
But what's the better option there?
Well, don't be what politics in America has become, where you can't get a bipartisan solution on anything. There's going to come a time where there's going to reach a crisis point in college sports where you're going to have a bipartisan solution. That bipartisan solution is the Big Ten and the SEC agreeing wholeheartedly on something and working to push the sports further in college and make sure everyone gets to the same conclusion they've reached.
Well, I don't know how much they're bringing the other conferences with them. They'll choke the other ones out if they're going to partner together.
Well, I'm saying they can lift all conferences below them as well by doing what's right for college sports. There's a way where those two can lead and others will follow and not be completely left behind. But there's no denying these are the two most powerful conferences. So they're going to have to be on board with whatever good change is going to happen.
And the other partnerships are interesting because with Petitti, I wonder from his time at CBS, what were the partnerships like with the ACC at the time, Big 12, Pac-12, and the communication he'll have with them? Again, this is where you wish you had the president of the NCAA that wasn't having to solely focus on name, image, likeness, and whether or not they're going to get sued at a federal level and have to go in front of the Supreme Court, right? That's the focus there. Meanwhile, the focus on the conferences right now is the arms race for TV and the survival rate of the other Big Five. But no one's really looking past the Power Five in the discussion. And that's where we'll see the branch, but the break on the branch. But I also wonder, is it 5? Is it 4? Is it 3 big conferences and you swallow up some of the other programs that want to join, and then the rest are left to fend for themselves in the group that's left instead of the group of 5?
Yeah, and part of this may be a breaking off of a lot of different programs and some conferences maybe also, and maybe that's what has to happen in order to move forward and keep college sports the way we know it, at least as close to the way it was as we can. And maybe that's necessary, but it's going to take those two guys getting together and looking out not just for their own conferences, but for what's best for college sports.
Chad, you watched the NBA 2 nights ago. Did you watch it last night?
I did.
How did the bets go?
Not well.
Okay, so
you
took
third leg
the
of my
Raptors.
parlay was Raptors -5. Feeling pretty good when I looked down and saw they were up 19.
And DeMar DeRozan is back.
Turned over to see Caruso bury a corner 3 to tie it for the Bulls. Wasn't as excited from that point on. Not nearly as excited as DeMar DeRozan's daughter.
Yes, back with Chicago, and DeMar DeRozan's daughter begged to go to Toronto for the game.
Already, but what was kind of the decision between having her come and what was it like having her under the basket there?
It's crazy. My daughter called me the other day when she was getting out of school, and she was just, she just said, "Dad, can I come to the Toronto game?" I remember going to all the Toronto games when she was a kid, and I almost said no because she in school back home. She kept asking. She was just adamant about coming to support, and I just said, "You can miss one day at school and come to a game," and I'm glad I did. I owe her some money for sure.
Is she coming fresh?
No, she got to go back to school. School first. 9.
Chad, the scream that
it's hilarious
led to the missed free throw is awesome.
I mean, her facial expression too. I mean, you want to talk about full-throated passion for her dad and her favorite team. It was incredible just seeing the emotion on her face throughout that game and hearing that little girl scream.
And he heard
every
it.
time.
They
were 18 for 36 from the free throw line. 50%. That's what she calls. That was her doing.
Oh, And now that's going to be a thing to look for now when you see the Chicago Bulls play.
Yeah, I mean, I think her school will understand that she can miss a little bit more. I think if you're a Bulls fan, you want her there at every game now.
Yeah, and and on the road.
Yeah. Could she be a younger version of Sister Jean this postseason run for the Bulls? Did we just find a new Sister Jean with this little girl? Maybe.
She can sit next to Zion Williamson, who's
New Bulls mascot.
sitting out of must-win games for the Pelicans. Look, there's no doubt when the dude plays, he's very good. He's averaging 25.8 points per game in his 32 minutes per game average. So when he's on the floor, he is the best on the floor. But the problem is, Chad, he's played in just 114 games in 4 seasons and 28 games the last 2. I mean, that is bust. And he sits out this one, and, of course, the Pelicans lose last night.
Yeah, I don't need to hear how good he is when he plays. He never plays.
Yeah, he's just hurt. He's done. Like
I mean, look, we didn't say.
And he's already he's got the max contract there too.
Like Greg Oden, was a bust because of injury, but I don't know what he did when he played, but if he played a few games, and man said, man, he was really good when he played. Well, he's a bust because he's not available. So Zion Williamson the same way. And this is one I think about Bryce Young, with everyone pointing to his size and saying, oh, he's going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt. There are a lot of people looking at Zion Williamson at Duke and thinking, this guy's heavy. This guy's heavy. He's going to get hurt. That's a lot of wear and tear over a lot of games if you're going to carry that much weight around. And those people are probably saying, I told you so right now, because he cannot stay healthy.
And he's just signed a 5-year rookie max extension. It's worth $193 million at least. It can go up to $231 million. Doesn't seem like he's going to reach those incentives, but it kicks in next year, the 23-24 season. So the money's going to be there, but Zion's not going to be on the floor.
We should all get paid to not work.
Yeah, or sent out for the mental issues or whatever else.
My allergies are bothering me a lot. I'm having to clear my throat a lot. I'm going to miss the next 4 weeks. Please give me all of my money that I should
or
make
just
for the
eat
show
and get out
for
of
not
shape
doing
where you can't run.
Right.